right.
The computer took forever to start up.
All right.
We're good. We're live.
Dead end.
All right, bet. Make sure my phone don't vibrate.
Kyle.
Okay, yeah, we're good to go. Live.
Yeah, we live.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for checking out the place where sports opinions collide. Welcome to another edition of Dead End Sports. I'm the host, 12 Kyle. We want to thank you all for tuning in as you do each and every Tuesday night. We broadcast live on our stream. Let me turn my mic off. I got to do that. It's so unprofessional of myself. We broadcast live every Tuesday night right on our YouTube stream, youtube.com/Dead End Sports. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to our weekly podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and catch all of our videos. Of course, you can catch us on all the socials. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. You name it, we're on it. So no reason for you not to follow us. And, of course, you can follow us individually. Once again, I am the host, joined by my partners in crime, BZ430. What up, though?
What up, though, man? You know, just here enjoying a nice couple of more days of work before I head off back home for a weekend.
And where is home?
Detroit. Detroit. I mean,
well, everybody don't know.
Yeah,
We got
new
followers every week, so
going back home,
team.
Detroit, man, Detroit, Michigan, and actually the weather's gonna be pretty nice while I'm up there, so that's good. So yeah, spend Father's Day weekend with my pops, and me and all my best friends. We always have our Father's Day picnic and stuff like that, and my godson's birthday is this weekend too, so it's just like all this is going on, so I'm glad I'm going home for that.
Okay, no doubt. Happy Father's Day, early Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Speaking of a father, a guy who's very old, and he's a father as well, my man Ken. Ken, what's going on, Playboy?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? Just kicking it, man. I might be moving around here or there. Here, get displaced. I'm trying to figure out a place to do the show, but I'm here, man. I'll be locked in, looking to definitely talk about the finals and all that. Hey, we got a new nickname for Kyle, for everybody listening.
What's that?
Kyle is now the TMZ.
Kyle is TMZ, man. Kyle is TMZ. Whenever we want to know anything about someone, we be like, dang, what's going on with that? We don't know. And then Kyle will come out, oh, yeah, this is what happened. He get a whole detailed phone.
I ask questions. That's all I do. I just ask questions.
That dude is 4-1. Ken, you want to introduce our guest, or you want me to introduce him, or you got him, Kyle, or what?
Go ahead and introduce him.
Kyle got it. It don't matter.
All right.
Go ahead, B.
Yes, we have people is joining us too, by the way, but we also have a special guest, long time, I guess online buddy, online friend, but also he supplies beats for Dead End Hip Hop videos. If y'all know, y'all be asking about dope beats all the time, and he's one of the men that supplies with dope beats. He's a fan of the show. I'm also a fan of his work as well, and he's also the creator of 8096.com, right?
That's it.
So, yes, we have West Pendleton. Say what up to the people, man.
Appreciate y'all having me on.
Oh man, anytime.
Oh yeah, he's a Philly guy too, man. Philly guy. I forgot. I gotta rep the city.
Okay.
215, man. 215.
Yeah, all day.
Live from 215.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. So we're gonna get it in real heavy.
It's an honor to have you on, man.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Like B, man, I'm a fan of your work, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Before you even sent us anything, So I know when we I think B maybe had that conversation, like, yo, he's gonna send. I was like, what word?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, man. I was like, oh man, it's dope, man. So yeah, man, it's an honor to actually have you on the show and not even talk music. We talking sports, man. That's dope, man.
Oh, so, Wesley, he's a basketball guy, man.
I'm actually low key more a basketball guy than a music guy.
He's a basketball guy, man. That dude loves some hoops. So yes, we got it. We had to get him on. We're gonna be talking NBA Finals, so we got to get him on.
So definitely go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Ken. I'm sorry.
Was that Kyle?
No. I was gonna do what you about to do. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You got it.
No, Wes, while we got you on, man, just briefly, just give everybody introduction as to what it is that you do and how long you've been at it. You know, from either both the media aspect of it as well as music.
Yeah, sure. Well, I've been doing music. I don't know. It's kind of weird because I kind of been doing both music and media primarily at for the last probably 12 years now.
Okay.
And seem to be more prominently known for music, but have been doing graphic design, film, those types of things behind the scenes a little bit more than all the way out in the front as far as music. So kind of at that place where I'm transitioning away from really doing music as much, if at all, honestly, outside of maybe just doing an occasional mix. I'm just bored of it now, just being honest, and transitioning into as B so eloquently put it, my new site 8096. It's the word 80, the numbers 96.com, and it's just a digital publication focusing on hoops and culture, and it's not Bleacher Report, it's not SB Nation, it's not ESPN. We're not giving stats, we're not doing all that stuff. It's really kind of just focusing on individual stories and things that we feel like have more legs than just the 24/7 hour 24/7 cycle type of thing, the way news is now. So kind of transitioning into that as the creative director right now, pretty much full time. So
yeah, and not to cut you off, but yeah, check out they just posted an article on the website about the WNBA hitting their 20th year. So that's pretty. Check it out if y'all haven't.
Yeah,
The people that's watching, yeah, make sure y'all check that out for real. That's a good article.
Yeah, I mean it's well past this isn't just like something to do for fun. I mean bruh's got some official credentials now, and there's just a lot of stuff that we're going to be able to do moving forward. And I'm just really excited.
Well, definitely, man. Welcome again.
Yeah,
I'm
just
glad to have you.
Oh, just real quick, I was definitely excited to hear about it because it's a conversation that, I've been having with the fellas, actually a couple of weeks before, your announcement and, before the Undefeated even put out their article, man. I think that we need more, black media, talking about and covering sports the way that we look at it. And I think that from my observations, that's something that's missed, in the business. So, so salute on taking that leap.
Thank you.
And yeah, man, any way we can support you, man, we got you.
Yep.
Yeah, I already told B. I mean,
yep.
Traffic has been really steady, but it's especially heavy every time you guys retweet an article. So, what I'm saying, I really appreciate you guys sharing those links and trying to do things, man.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. We got you. We got you, brother.
No doubt. Well, we're gonna get it cracking, man. Of course, you guys, if you're watching us, you know that we're not here to talk about soccer tonight. The NBA Finals are on tap, so there's pretty much gonna dominate the conversation tonight. As you all know, as of the time of this recording, the NBA Finals are now at 3-2 with the Warriors leading 3-2 as they head back to Cleveland, coming off a incredible performance last night from Kyrie Irving and LeBron James, both going for 41 as they go into Golden State, stave off elimination, beat the champs at home by 15 points. So let's start right there. B, I'm going to start with you, man. What did you take away from what was the biggest thing that you took away from last night's game?
The fact that I think for the first time maybe all year, first time this playoffs, that I've really seen LeBron so locked in. Like, and it kind of makes me mad because it's like this is the type of stuff where I'd be like, yo,
right.
He needs to focus. He needs to like if you notice, you didn't see LeBron not celebrating. They wasn't doing their little, they handshakes and all that stuff where they pat each other on the head and do all this and all that. Like LeBron had a clear vision, a tunnel vision, and that was to try to do whatever he needs to do to get that W. And the way he played, everything was just like, why hasn't he? He should have been playing like this since the tip off of Game 1 in this finals. Like he should have had that tunnel vision as soon as he saw Golden State come back from 3-1 against OKC. He should have had that tunnel vision. Like, okay, this is my rematch I want. Like me and Ken talked about this before. He wanted Golden State. He should have had this tunnel vision focus since Game 1. And you know, if you want to be considered the greats, you have to. If it's the finals, I want to see. If you can be considered a superstar, I want to see you with that tunnel vision. Kobe had it. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah had it. Like all the greats had it. You know, Gary Payton even had it when he went up against Jordan. Charles Barkley, like all of the greats had it. And seeing the way LeBron played last night was just, it was cool to see that, but at the same time it's frustrating because it's like, dude, why, when you're making it to the finals 6 straight years, why not have that focus, man, that laser beam? That's really the main thing I took out of that, because I was like, man, I haven't seen this look in LeBron in so long, and it's like, why does he wait till when his back is against the wall for him to turn it up? You should turn it up. Whether if you up 3-1 or if you down 3-1, like turn it up all the time, man. Especially this is the NBA freaking finals. This is it. This is where legacies is built, especially in the postseason. So that's the main thing I've noticed from this previous game is that LeBron James was so focused. I don't know if he's gonna play like this Thursday or if possible Game 7, but he needs to. He needs to, and trust me, the team will follow. You see how the rest of the guys was playing. Well, with the exception of Kevin Love. You see how the rest of the guys was playing.
Talk about him too.
It was like when LeBron had that tunnel vision, Kyrie was like, all right, cool. I'm about to have tunnel vision too. And you know the rest of those guys, you know, Tristan Thompson was out there hustling and rebounding, and I mean everybody was playing their role. And I don't know, man. Like that's the biggest thing that took away was just how frustrating it is to see LeBron that focus, and it was just like, dude. Please, your career, like please.
Right. I mean, he was. You're right, B. He was locked in. Joining us is our boy FIFO 247. What up, Playboy?
Yo, what it do?
Chilling, man, chilling. And we just getting started, man. We were talking about perfect timing. First question, FIFO, and I'll throw it to you as well. What did you take? What was your biggest takeaway from last night? I know we text during the game last night, but what was one of your biggest, or some of your biggest takeaways from last night's game? What stood out to you?
Kyrie Irving. I think that's obvious. What he was able to do, that's why you pay him $95 million. That's what makes him special. You know, people criticize him, but I feel like you can't always compare people to people. You have to understand what he is and judge him against what he can do. You know, and in 3 straight games, man, the man has put up over 30 points a game with 41 last night on almost 71% shooting.
It's crazy,
man. That's extremely special, And I just love the fact that Kyrie has this stage. He's only 24. That's the biggest thing I took away. LeBron showed up. They took advantage of the fact that Draymond Green was not there. But you know. Can they win 2 more? Because it took 2 one definitely historic performance and another great performance from LeBron James to win that game without one of their main guys. You know, how do the Cavs play moving forward? Does Richard Jefferson start over Kevin Love? I think these are a lot of questions that we still don't know the answers to. But I think Ty Lue got to make some tough decisions because K Love played 33 minutes, scored 5 points.
2 points.
2 points. I'm sorry.
2 more than us.
Yeah. He had 2 points on 1 for 5 shooting.
He's out of there.
I don't know, man. The Cavs still. I've always asked, like, their identity. What are they going to rely on? Is it always going to be star power? It's going to be tough to win, even though I picked Cavs in 7. Hey, I'm still alive.
Not happening.
You did pick.
Not gonna make it.
To his credit, he has not backed down from that.
He hasn't.
And I picked Golden State in 7 in the last series. You know what I'm saying? And I stuck with that. People thought I was crazy. I'm like, yo, Golden State in 7. All I'm saying is this: Game 6, I don't see how LeBron allows Golden State to win again in Cleveland. I don't see that. I don't see that happening. I think you're going to see another LeBron James performance like this. I think you're going to see Kyrie ball out, maybe not like this in terms of shooting percentage, but I think he's going to ball out again. I think that if you get any type of contribution from anybody else, a la JR, K Love, Channing Frye, just one other person amongst those two guys, I see a Game 7. And like I said last week, if there is a Game 7, I think all the pressure in the world is on Golden State.
Of course.
I think you broke the record. You won 73 games, right? You came back from 3-1. The pressure is on you not to lose from 3-1. I'm telling you, man, that right there, and I got the Cavs in 7, man. That's just who I got, because I don't see them losing Game 6. I think all the pressure's on Golden State Game 7, man.
That's
no doubt. Let me throw it to my man Wes. Wes, your biggest takes from last night's great performance. Well, not just a great performance, just the game in general. What did you take away from last night's game?
Well, I mean, probably my biggest takeaway is LeBron is still one of the greatest players just ever. And I don't know why people don't see that, but I don't want to get off on that tangent. But yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, you know, like FIFA was saying, I mean, Kyrie was getting beat up, and this dude was just not missing. I mean, he was really, really. I mean, half of his shots were just ridiculous shots. You know what I'm saying? As far as, you know, him being defended, you know what I'm saying? But you know, the Warriors did let him walk into like a good 3 or 4 3-pointers there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, I think that's a lot of what really got him going, because it's almost seeming like that's kind of like his signature shot. I think he shoots that better than coming off a screen or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, definitely a historical performance from Kyrie. I think it's one of those pivotal type of moments where, you know, he's probably going to understand that he can be that guy. He's been doing it all series. So, you know, hopefully he can continue to do that next season. I mean, obviously, another huge takeaway from the finals as a whole is that, for me, is that Kyrie is actually healthy. So, you know, what you're seeing is what seems to be a fully healthy Kyrie, something that we really haven't seen since he's been in the NBA. I mean, he's really been hurt at least some part of the season,
right,
since he's been in college. So he really, really seems to be at full steam right now, and seems to be living up to the expectations that the Cavs, you know, we're taking from him, picking him number 1. So.
No doubt. What about you, Ken? What was your biggest takeaway from last night's game?
The Warriors missed a lot of shots, a lot of open shots in the fourth quarter. I think we can't ignore that. And you know what? For a while, I kept waiting for them to come back. I gotta say, LeBron responded. He matched Klay's hot shooting in the first half, where he was just in fuego, and he matched them pretty much point for point, and that was important to keep them within the game, to keep their confidence up. And then from there, Kyrie closed them out. And, you know, Klay gave props, all the props, to Kyrie for his performance. And that's what you do. When somebody gets you, you just tip your hat to them and you just lace them up for another day. You know, we could talk about Draymond not being there. The fact of the matter, he wasn't. And there was a lot of people that were. And they just couldn't do anything with it. Now, we know that had an impact on the game. We know that probably helped LeBron get to where he got to, you know, in that game. But the fact of the matter was, a do-or-die game. There was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of noise coming into the game. There was a lot of back and forth. You know, Klay calling him a crybaby. Most fakes call him a crybaby. You know, LeBron saying he took the high road. LeBron getting beat up publicly by everybody. The Warriors looking at him with a total lack of disrespect, which they're totally entitled to considering how everything went down. And LeBron went out, and he basically said, okay, Klay, it's a man's game. I'll give you a man's game tonight. And that's exactly what he did. Fantastic performance, man. 41, 16, 7, 3, and 3. You can't knock that. And to knock it because Draymond did not play, I think is extremely insulting to what that man did on the court, because Iggy was still there, you know, and Iggy is supposed to be the guy that shuts LeBron down. And
Well,
And,
that's
you know,
what
and it wasn't. Huh?
that's what's said, but statistically, it's really Draymond that gives him the majority of the problems, and that's across the board for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Draymond is a tough defender, and he makes things tough for like you said, anybody. You know, he's physically just as big as LeBron. People bounce off him just the way people bounce off LeBron. So, you know, there's no denying that if Draymond played, maybe that would have shaved 10 points off that because he put up 32, you know, in one of the games before. So, but that's LeBron. We still got to look at Kyrie Irving. And Curry couldn't do anything with him. Like, he took it to Curry every time he got. And Curry has failed to live up to his unanimous MVP selection this year. One more game left to play, maybe two more. He has a chance to redeem himself. But the fact of the matter is, man, the Cavs came into a hostile situation, and they played, and they got a win on the backs of two of their best players. And the Splash Brothers didn't show all the way up the way Kyrie and LeBron showed up. Now, I'm totally with FIFO, B, and everybody else. Can they do this again? Can they sustain them for two more games to a win? I don't know, and I think they will need that collective team effort. I think they do need that third scorer like they got in Game 3 to help reduce some of the load on LeBron and Kyrie Irving. But I can tell you this, Kyrie ain't going to stop. Kyrie ain't going to stop shooting the ball. That man wants to chip, and he's going to take it to whomever. And if LeBron is not going to shoot it, if JR is not going to shoot it, if Love is not going to shoot it, Kyrie damn sure is going to shoot the ball.
Yep.
We know that. And if his shot is on, nobody can stop him. Like in the fourth quarter, I just kept waiting for some of these shots to stop falling. And when he dribbled to like the free throw line or kind of the free throw line in, and he picked up his dribble and he pivoted, and then he turned around and hit that turnaround jumper, and that went in. I was like, at that point, I was like, yo, this dude is on one tonight. Because you've been watching the Warriors for so long that we kept waiting. We're just used to them making that surge.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when I think back on that game, it really was all Klay. It really was all Klay Thompson in the first half that kept them afloat, that kept the game tied at 61. Without him, who knows what the game would end up being like.
Right.
But yeah, man, I thought it was one for the ages.
Yep.
I really did.
Another huge component was the fact that LeBron was hitting jumpers.
Yeah.
And so I don't necessarily think he was attacking more. I think he was actually just making the shots. So,
definitely.
You know, his first shot, he pulled right from the top of the key, and it didn't rattle or anything. It just dropped right in. So even to see him now, I will say maybe he was aggressive in shooting that three because he doesn't really shoot many threes. But I think even the shots really just kind of opened up the floor for him just a bit more than maybe it would have done in the past games or whatever. So
yeah,
I think everybody made some great points. I think one of the things that stood out to me, actually two things. Like FIFO mentioned, Kyrie. I think Kyrie was incredible. I think, to some degree, and I don't know if we ever really pay attention to it or not, but we're so used to LeBron's greatness that, when he puts up 26, 8, and 8, we're like, oh, yeah, LeBron had a decent game. And people don't understand how difficult that is, but he's made that the norm. So for LeBron to go for 41, it was incredible, but it wasn't like, here. It wasn't like people were just blown away by it. I was really, really impressed, and I was impressed with LeBron's performance. But Kyrie, like FIFO mentioned, to be honest, I only remember Kyrie missing one shot. and I think that was the one that he missed that he took Bogut out on. So, he was, and to Ken's point, not only was he going at Curry, but he was going at Klay.
Yeah,
Most of his points came
everybody.
on Klay. He was going to – it didn't matter who they put in front of him, and I think LeBron did a good job of because, and not to be picky, but to be honest, in the fourth quarter, LeBron started missing. But he was able to ride Kyrie, and that's what you do. And so, it wasn't like LeBron had to carry them, much like Ken said. I was like, okay, at some point Golden State's going to make some of these shots. And Golden State went 4 for 19 on wide open threes, uncontested threes, which is not something that Golden State normally does. So what I'm seeing is that much like Cleveland did in Game 4 at home, they missed a bunch of open shots, which is rare that you see that happen for home teams, particularly when they're playing with some type of rhythm. So I don't think that you're going to see a lot of that from Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland's going to miss a lot of shots at home. I don't think Golden State's going to miss a lot of shots going forward. That many open shots. You can't give Golden State open shots. You have to contest them. The other thing that stood out to me was when I looked at the game last night, I saw 2 players from the Cavs playing like MVPs. I saw 1 player from Golden State playing like an MVP. But where was the MVP? I mean, if you look at Steph's stat sheet, his stats look good, but the second half, he was I don't want to say he was non-existent, but he wasn't Curry-like. I think at some point he's going to have to, in a game like that, I think that's when you put the team on your back. Now I don't know, what a 6'2", shooting guard is, point guard, shooting guard, whatever you want to call him, will do to put the team on his back. But at the same time, I think they are really, really longing. At one point last night, it looked like they were waiting on, and he didn't. So, again, you've got 3 people playing at an MVP level, and they're waiting on Steph to join the party. And again, he had a decent game, and they won games like that. But a closeout game like that, if you're the guy, you got to play like the guy. Steph should have had the type of quarter that Klay had in the first half. So, but those 2 things stood out to me. Steph's, MVP-like play, and Kyrie. Kyrie was uncontrollable, and I think we're in for. I think something's going to be a great Game 5. Now, I'm sorry, Game 6. I'm backwards. So now, as we move forward, when we look at Game 6, obviously it looks like Bogut is not going to be there. FIFO, I'm going to throw this to you first. In order, and you just complete the sentence, in order for the Cavs to win Game 6, what has to happen?
They have to be connected on defense. It took LeBron and Kyrie's performance to overcome what Golden State had to offer, but Steph had too many open shots. Klay had too many open shots. They still looked lost and confused on a couple possessions. You're not going to win a championship like that. Like, we know that those 2 guys are super special, and one of those guys can win by themselves. It just so happened that the last game, both of those guys gave that type of performance. It's going to require 2 more performances like that from both of them. Definitely by one of them in each one of these, especially in this next game, and if there is a Game 7. But they have to play defense, and they have to convert defensive stops into true basketball. They have to create turnovers by staying focused, keeping their hands up, as we've seen in the last 2-3 games. They're getting into the passing lanes. They're getting deflections. They're getting those type of looks. They need that, but they need more of that. It needs to be more focused. If they get that, they can push this a Game 7.
No doubt, no doubt. What about you, Wes?
I'm gonna piggyback.
For Cleveland to win Game 6, what has to happen?
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off of FIFO. I'm going to go ahead and say that I think that the Warriors defense definitely has to come together. I think that was one of pretty much the biggest factor of last night's game. What's a lot of times is how great they are on defense, and really, honestly, their offense, the majority of the time, is really predicated off of their defense. So if they can force you into long shots, if they can force you into bad shots, they get us that way. But the fact that they're not making shots, it slows everything down. And then they're not rotating on defense. Draymond is their anchor, so if he's not there calling out, rotations and things like that, or switches, it's really, really hard for that team to get on. And to me, that was really the biggest thing that I noticed last night, was the fact that defensively they just really didn't have it together. So, you letting Kyrie just kind of just do whatever he does. And I mean, it's just an amazing, singular performance on from himself. But at the same time, the fact that nobody switched out on him, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
to at least make him pass the ball, you know what I'm saying? So at that point of the game, if I'm Steve Kerr, I'm Kevin Love and Richard Jefferson and all them other dudes, they gonna have to beat me this game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm double teaming every time just to get the ball out of those guys' hands. But it just goes to show the importance of Draymond, especially on the defensive end. Definitely in agreement with FIFA on that. And I think that with him being back, I think we'll see a much different team, a little bit more emboldened on that side of the ball this come around. If they can get out and run, it's not going to be good for the Cavs, in my opinion.
Ken, what about you? What has to happen for the Cavs to win Game 6?
No, hold on. Wes took it from the Golden State perspective. I was saying all of that stuff for the Cavs.
Yeah. Yep.
So same thing. Two great teams.
Well,
Ken, what about you?
I think for one, they're gonna have to survive the initial emotional outburst from Golden State. Happy that Draymond Green is back on the court. He's gonna amp them up. He's gonna put that battery in that backpack, man, and them boys gonna come out ready to play, because I'm pretty sure they're talking among each other that we only lost the game because Draymond wasn't there, and a lot of people can probably make that argument, and I'm not gonna sit here and engage in that type of back and forth. I think it'll be a little bit silly, but I think if they can come out with force, and I think they got to punch Golden State in the mouth, which they have in every game. But the difference is they have to keep punching, and that's where the Cavs have kind of fallen off. Like, you had a 1-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and you fell apart. You were up 6 in the second quarter, and you were punching Golden State in the mouth, and you make a mistake on defense by Shumpert, and then all of a sudden, Golden State starts welling back at you, and you don't have a response, and the game gets away from you. You lose by 30-something.
Right.
You come out, you play a great team ball, and you get a win. In Game 4, you were pretty much in the game, and you were punching, and then all of a sudden it fell apart again in the fourth quarter. Everything that Wes and FIFO said, they have to be. More importantly, they have to be locked in defensively, man. And that's why I said my takeaway from last night's game was the Warriors just missed shots. They messed up a lot in the fourth quarter. Those championship habits that I was talking about, they were not there throughout the game the way it needed to be. And it took LeBron, it took Kyrie to get that win, but it also took Draymond factoring into that win. It also took the Warriors missing a lot of open shots. They out-hustled the Cavs in the fourth quarter to get a lot of those open shots, and they just didn't go down. So if you're looking at that, and if you're the Warriors looking at that, you understand that, and you know that, if that goes a different way, you're winning. So for the Cavs, they got to play like they did in Game 3. It's do or die, and that's the reality of it. You're not just saying it now because it's a cliche and it sounds good and you can't go down 3-0. You're saying it now because it's the truth. There is no tomorrow. And if they can play with that intensity, with that focus, with that level of dedication, they can instill those championship habits, build that mental toughness that Tyronn Lue is trying to instill in them. Got a shot. But the final thing, I think, ultimately, is they need everybody to contribute like they did in Game 3. They need J.R. Smith. They need Shumpert. They need Kelly's been non-existent. They need Thompson. He can't get on the court. He can't get on the court because Golden State's rotations are so perfect, it seems. And they need Richard Jefferson. And they need Kevin Love. And he's been MIA. But they need him. And they need that third scorer. And if they can do that, they'll play for Game 7. But if they don't, it's a wrap.
No doubt. No doubt. What about you, B? For the Cavs to win Game 6 and send it back to Golden State, what has to happen?
Like I said before, LeBron need to have that tunnel vision like he had this past game, and I really think the rest of the team will follow. I think if he comes out just laser focused, like I've never seen him before. Well, not really before, but like have I seen him in game 5? I think the Cavs will be okay, man. Yeah, and they definitely have to. I think people said it. They definitely have to get out and close out on those shooters, man. Because yeah, Curry and Klay and them had a lot of open looks that they were missing, and and Andre Iguodala and all. You gotta don't get those guys going. You gotta go out there and close out on those jump shooters because they are definitely a jump shooting team. Harrison Barnes, don't let those guys get going. So yeah, I would say LeBron just need to be focused, and they need to really close out and rotate on those shooters a lot better this upcoming game than they did in Game 5.
No doubt. I think I agree with you guys. I think it starts with Cleveland on the defensive end. I think they're going to have to lock in because you're not going to. I mean, Klay's still shooting well. You got to figure that Curry's going to, play better, and you got to figure that they're going to be, up for the challenge with having Draymond back in the lineup. And they haven't given a word on Bogut, but let's just assume that Bogut's not going to play. And ride the wave of the home crowd. Ride the wave of the home crowd and the energy that's going to be in the Quicken Loans Arena. And I think if the Cavs can do that and keep the game close, then you depend on your superstars to bring it home. I think that's what it's going to take. But it's going to take all hands on deck. I don't expect another, 40-point performance from LeBron and 40-point performance from Kyrie. I don't think that. I mean, if LeBron goes for a triple-double and he's got, 12, 13 assists, then that means guys like Fry and guys like Kevin Love are getting buckets. And so your scoring is spread out. So then you have JR with 12. Then you got, Kyrie, not Kyrie, but you may have, Kevin Love with another 13 points. So I think when the scoring is spread throughout, I think that makes it a lot easier for Cleveland to win. I don't see having a dominating performance like that. Even though it would be great, I don't know that that's a lot to ask from both of those guys. Now, conversely, I'm gonna throw the same question out about Golden State. Then we'll come back and talk about Draymond. Wes, I'll start with you. Go ahead.
Hold on, Kyle. Before you move on, though, look. When you talking about Kyrie, at the last 3 games, his scoring output has gone up, bro. It's gone up. You know what I'm saying? So I think it is fair to expect for him to at least give you 30.
Oh yeah, no question. No, I'm talking about both of them going off like the way that they did last night. No, Kyrie has played well above what he did in the regular season, and he stepped it up each level that they've gone up in the playoffs. So no, if he's not averaging 30, he's right at 30. So I don't expect him to put in any less. I'm talking about just that kind of dominating performance like they had last night, and not necessarily the contributions from the others. I don't expect, and to be honest, I don't expect that, and I don't think that helps Cleveland if they're just standing around watching these guys, because if they go cold or if they can't get the help that they need, then it doesn't bode well for them, even though they're at home. Now, FIFO, since you brought up, conversely, let's go back to you. As far as Golden State is concerned, what is it going to take for Golden State to close this thing out on Thursday?
Get in LeBron's head. They got to get in LeBron's head. Because LeBron is key. I think Kyrie's going to do what Kyrie's going to do. The other guys just got to step up and just do what they've done in the regular season, which is something you can expect. Draymond Green being back just got to get in LeBron's head. And I mean by playing the right defense, by being that nuisance on the court, by being just there and being pesky. If Draymond can get in LeBron's head, I think that is going to for Golden State, because we know one of the Splash Brothers is going to do something. At least that's the one consistent thing. If Steph hasn't had, a good game or a good run or something like that, we've seen Klay step up. We've seen Draymond step up. The other 2 guys have stepped up on the squad. So as long as you get that, and I think if Draymond can really bother LeBron and make it not as easy as it was the last game, then I think they could definitely win in Cleveland again. But that's not what's going to happen, I'm telling you. It's gonna be a game 7.
He's sticking to it. What about you, Ken? For Golden State to win the title, what's going to happen?
You know, all year long since last year, actually, hypercritical on Klay Thompson. He looked like he was scared last year, and this year he looks like a completely different guy. He is carrying the Warriors in the last 2 series. And I got to give that man his props, man. The way he catches fire,
Yeah, bro.
is absolutely incredible. Like we talk about, and we've heard this throughout the season, where people have said they think that Klay's the best shooter. And I've watched the Warriors just to see if that was the case. I think it's the case, man. I think Curry is a little bit more exciting with this because he tends to put a little more flair to it. But Klay got it all, man. As far as his ability to get to the dribble to the middle of the court, he got the mid range. He got this little sneaky layup game, like he can and bounce one off the backboard. Like the guy can flat out shoot the ball, and it's like he's growing up right before our very eyes and turning into like that leader. And I haven't seen that from him, all year. And he was one of the guys that he and actually Harrison Barnes were 2 key components for me in order for the Warriors to repeat. But the way Klay is playing, I don't think they even need Harrison Barnes at this point. This dude, if it wasn't for Klay, they'll be home. They'll be at home right now.
Yep.
Klay almost single-handedly beat the Cavs
Right.
last night. And I think if he continues that, if he does that again, I think they stand a good chance of winning because they play such great team ball. Like, even though Klay is hot and they're going to try to get him the ball, they're not going to really get away from what they do offensively that much. They'll still play discipline. So I think if Klay gets hot like that, it might be over unless somebody from the Cavs match him. So right now, I think he's the default leader, man. I think he's the leader of this team right now. I think when you talk about an emotional leader, you talk about somebody following a player's lead, I think they follow Klay's lead now. And that's just some of the things that I've seen on the court. We all know Draymond being back is going to make a hell of a difference defensively for them. I'm in total agreement with FIFO as they can just get in LeBron's head because the Warriors are really, really good at stripping the ball without fouling. And they're really, really good at making it seem like they're stripping the ball without fouling too. Oh. but that frustrates the Cavs, and it really frustrates LeBron because oftentimes he feels as if he's fouled. And if he's not there, if he's not here, it's going to be a long night, man. Because Kyrie, as great as he is, I don't know if he can beat the Warriors by himself like we've seen LeBron beat the Warriors by himself last year. He's just not that kind of guy. They're going to need him, man. If they get in LeBron's head and frustrate him and he's sulking and he's running around yelling at teammates, if he's not high-fiving Love when Love come off the court to kind of say, hey, guys, we're back in, and he wants to sit here and fuss, if he's doing all of that, hey, they're gonna be smelling the champagne again in Cleveland, man. And I think the Warriors gonna come out, and I think they have something to prove, man. We're talking about a team that hasn't lost back-to-back games, all year. So it just seems like it's inevitable.
OKC they did.
Oh yeah, they lost to OKC.
In OKC they did.
But it's not
in the regular season
of doing.
Right. Ken, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Is Klay the best 2 guard in the NBA?
Shooter guard? See, I don't know yet.
But remember, you was tough on him. You was tough on him for a minute, though, Ken. Wasn't he tough, people? I thought he was tough. He wasn't giving Klay props for a long time.
Nope.
Yep.
Nah, but I still see, like, Klay is like, I don't know, man. I don't know the best. Not yet. I don't know about the best.
Well, I think he didn't even have him in his top 5, didn't he? One time, people.
Top 5. Nah. And he's still not in my top 5 yet.
Man, get out of here.
So who's in your top? Who's in your top 5?
We'll do that later, dog. Like,
man.
Oh, come on.
Nah, Ken.
So wait. So Ken, so you're telling me in the big stage as the playoffs, the way Klay been stepping up, you're telling, and what he did in OKC, he's not top 5 worthy now? 2 guard?
I mean, I'm looking at him. Hey, look, check this out though. There's a spot open, right?
2 guards.
There's a spot open. Kobe's gone. I got a spot. I got a free spot.
But dog, look, Ken. I can't name.
I wish we were shooting a video right now.
Klay, dog.
Huh?
Real talk. I really can't, dog. Like I don't know who the hell you putting up there. If you put a CJ McCollum or Bradley Beal, like bro, like who else is there?
I gotta look at the list.
Man, get out of here, Ken.
Can't put World Big Free on
I
his
don't know
list.
about that one, Ken. I don't know about that one.
Hey,
What'd you say, Rob?
what do you think? What do you think has to, for Golden State to bring home the title in Game 6?
Who you asking, me or Wes?
Wes.
What do I think Golden State has to do?
Yes.
Like I said, I definitely misunderstood the question.
No, you're good. You're good.
Going out the feed earlier, but yeah, I mean, I'm just reiterating what I said earlier. I think the Warriors' main thing is their defense. I think it's always been that way. I think it was that way last year. I think it was that way this year. And if they're not getting defensive stops, if they're not forcing teams into bad shots for long rebounds, they're not forcing turnovers, it really kind of hinders the type of game that they like to play. They like to get up and down. And, as you could see last night. Now it's interesting. It's interesting because last night, I guess you could technically say it was an up and down game, but not an up and down game in the way that the Warriors like to play up and down. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, like I said, in my opinion, is really, really predicated on their defense. If they're not getting, like I said, those long balls and those things like that and turnovers, and on top of them not missing their shots, they're going to have a hard time, especially if these two guys have the same type of performance as far as LeBron and Kyrie, 2 games straight. It's just really kind of hard to come back from that. But I actually think that the Warriors are tired. And I think it might have almost been a blessing in disguise for Draymond to actually have a game off to get some rest, because I think he is that important. And I kind of started noticing probably like the second or third game against the Thunder, he looked like he wasn't getting off the ground as fast as he normally does. You know what I'm saying? Being the anchor of the defense, he was catching a lot of fouls, catching dudes across the arm, and Draymond's he's pretty good at getting the contact but not fouling down there under the basket. So maybe the game off is a good thing for him. Let his legs get a couple days extra rest. He'll come back, but a little bit more pep in the step. But that's kind of how I feel.
No doubt. Go ahead, Phil.
Wait, hold on. So switching to the Cavs. What do the Cavs got to do to beat the Warriors?
Well, I think it's the same thing. I think I think that the Cavs. I mean, one thing that I feel like I think the Cavs have done a really, really good job defensively this whole series. Anybody who's really gotten off on the Warriors has kind of gotten off. Seems like on some fluky stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I just think we're genuinely looking at one team just being that much better than the other team, being the Warriors just that much better than the Cavs. And it's just going to take the same type of thing that happened last game plus a bit better production from some of the role guys for them to be able to pull out these last 2 games. If they don't get any help these next 2 games, I just don't see them. I don't see them pulling it out. That's my opinion.
No doubt. Great points. What about you, B? What is it going to take for the for the Warriors to win the championship and bring it back home to Oakland?
Well, for one, I think it will be a definitely plus for them to have their heart and soul of the squad player back in Draymond Green. So I think any contribution as far as the tangibles that he brings to the team, I think is going to help. And I'm gonna stay on the superstars, man. Just like I said about LeBron, I think Stephen Curry has to be the unanimous MVP. Stephen Curry. I mean, he has to he has to be the Stephen Curry that we've seen all this season balling out crazy. I'm back. Like we want that Stephen Curry back that's just fired up at all cylinders. I think he needs to get going because just like LeBron and the rest of the troops, I think if Stephen Curry get going, I think the rest of the team will follow. I just have a feeling that they will see the energy of it. They would get going. They can take that crowd out the game real early because you know how it is when Cleveland get down. Well, we've seen before when Cavs get down,
they can't dig out.
Yeah, it's like they don't know how to dig out. So I think for them to win, they have to really. I think if they can be up by like anywhere between 11 and 15 at halftime, it's a wrap. It's over. I don't see Cavs making a run and coming back. So, but yeah, Draymond Green is definitely gonna be a plus. He's gonna be right back in the mix, just like people said. If they're to mess him up, that'd be good. But Stephen Curry has to be Stephen Curry. Even if Klay can just give you like 15 to 20, if Stephen Curry is the unanimous MVP, Stephen Curry, and the rest of the team is fired up from that man, Harrison Barnes. If Harrison Barnes give you that little sneaky 14 points and 7 rebounds type of game or whatever, and about 3 from 6 or 3 for 5 behind the arc, I think Golden State will be okay. I think they'll be all right. I think they can go ahead and finish out. And again, for the second year in a row, they'll be sipping the champagne at Cleveland in front of.
What, B? Sometimes that saying the greatest defense is a great offense. I think that's what we're kind of seeing with Steph. Because look, Steph hasn't had like a super awful series.
That's true.
It's not super awful. It's not like all time. Oh my God, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah.
It's not unanimous MVP Steph type of performance.
Exactly.
And I think part of that is Kyrie. Because bro, when you got a guy that made you do the cha-cha in Cleveland
twice,
you know what I'm saying?
Kyrie been killing.
There, bro, scored a touchdown.
He been killing Klay and Steph. Man, he been killing.
And I think that has messed somewhat with Steph. And amongst other things, he just don't look the same. Not consistently, not for a whole game. You see little spurts, a 2-minute run. Oh, that's the MVP. Then they might, you know what I'm saying? But this boy Kyrie is coming at him. I think that has something to do. And I think even if he has a performance, that's what I'm saying. I said it. Kyrie has to be Finals MVP for the Cavs to win because his direct competitor is the MVP of the league, and he has outplayed him in 3 out of these 5 games.
Yep.
Really 4 out of these 5 games because game 1, I think he outplayed Steph in game 1 too. You know what I'm saying? So I think that has had a direct impact on Steph, man. I really do, man, because Kyrie, we know this. The biggest stage, Kyrie always shows up. Always shows up. He don't care. He don't care, man. He's so fearless.
Hey, can I piggyback off?
Go ahead.
Can I piggyback off Fee? So I wanted to cover one thing that Ken was like he thought it was an interesting perspective. I'm one of the few people. I mean, I feel like that this is a little bit of a gift that does not judge basketball in like increments like this. You know what I'm saying? So like I keep on hearing everybody, not you guys specifically, but I keep hearing everybody, so Steph is having a bad series. He's really honestly been kind of having, somewhat of a less, and I don't necessarily think he's having a bad series. It's just not what we expect from him. And, the rhetoric is, well, this is the unanimous MVP. And it's like, guys, the MVP is for the regular season, fam. You know what I'm saying? And that's why there's a regular season MVP, and that's why there's a finals MVP. So anything that Steph did before before the playoffs was about the regular season. Anything that he's doing now is about the playoffs going into the finals. So he's not playing yeah.
What if they make concessions for Steph Curry that we didn't put on no other MVP ever? What are you talking about? When you are the MVP of the regular season, it is expected for you to perform at that level, if not higher, the further you get along in the playoffs.
Oh no, I'm actually with you though. I'm not discounting what you're saying, but what I'm literally saying is that's what's supposed to happen, but that's not what's happening.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I'm that way so I'm not making concessions for him. You know what I'm saying? I don't listen, he has a bad game, he has a bad game. He has a bad series, he has a bad series. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't do that. And you know, B and Ken, y'all follow me online. Y'all know I don't have no favorites. You know what I'm saying? I don't show no favoritism. So if you playing good, I will give you your props for playing good. If you're playing bad, I will say you're playing bad. That's just how I am. But at the same time, it's still, you know, like when we're looking at this series, like you said, I think that Kyrie, we got to give all the props to Kyrie. And so this is kind of what I was saying to Ken yesterday, and Ken thought it was an interesting perspective. I don't really look at how dudes are playing at the expense of who they're trashing. You know what I'm saying? So Kyrie is playing amazing because Kyrie is playing amazing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not because Steph is playing like trash. Steph is, well, he's not playing like trash, but I mean that's the rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I feel like we do this thing where we don't even give the person who's actually balling out they do credit, because we're putting it in comparison to what the other person who we expect to do well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's all I'm saying, Feef. Like I feel you though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you are unanimous MVP, bro, like I would expect you to carry that all the way through. You know what I'm saying? But again, like I'm looking at that more from the Cavs standpoint. Like I feel like the Cavs have put the clamp on the ball. Like seriously. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually going to give the Cavs more props than saying Steph is just
I agree.
outright trash. You know what I'm saying? I think
I agree,
the Cavs are playing that well. You know what I'm saying?
I think, and I think that gets lost. I think people, if you listen to the narrative of sports fans and some, you know, and the people that talk on TV and radio and stuff like that, I think, you know, there's a faction that automatically goes to the fact that, well, Steph is hurt. I mean, Steph clearly doesn't have the spring that he has. That's not saying that he's hurt, because I think I'm from the old school, so I believe like
if you out there, you can play.
Yeah, if you out there, there's no excuse. Once you step on the court, I don't want to hear anything about you being injured. Is he the same? No, he doesn't. I mean,
and to his credit, he hasn't. Exactly.
Yeah, to his credit, he has not. You know, but I think people really haven't given the Cavs enough credit for the defense that they've tried to employ against him. You know, I mean, think about it. He went for 25, and we're talking like a lot of it has to do with the defense that they've put on him. So, you know, and I think I predicted that Golden State would win the series in 6, and I still think that that's going to happen. Right. If that were to happen tomorrow on Thursday, I still think you have to walk away from this series saying that, wow, you know, the Cavs really did a number on Steph. Right. You know, because we haven't seen him contained like this.
No, I know y'all seen this in the first game. I know y'all seen this. Literally 10 seconds into the first game, Steph came on a curl to the top, right? And normally with any other team, curl that whoever was guarding him would have either went over top of the screen because he was far enough out that he wasn't going to shoot from there. But did you peep how LeBron abruptly switched on that screen and like ran right up on him? And it's not that LeBron doesn't do that, but the way that he switched out on him, to me, like right out the gate, I was like, the coaching staff told them to key on this guy, and that if him and LeBron cross paths off of a screen switch, then LeBron is the switch out on him. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it seems to be very, very much a game plan to key on Steph specifically, which in my opinion is a lot of reason why Klay has just been. But Klay has been hitting some stuff that Klay should not be hitting. Nobody should be hitting. Same thing with Kyrie. Like them dudes are just balling out right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like they were Curry-esque, and then if you look at the other end, Kyrie was hitting some circus shots too. Let's jump backwards. Let's go back to Game 4. Of course, we know what happened. Draymond Green got into it with LeBron. LeBron stepped over him. Most people see that as a sign of disrespect. And subsequently, Draymond punched him, hit him in the nuts, called him the B word, which rhymes with itch. We're not going to cuss on here, but you know what he said. B, I'll start with you, man. let's see where we want to go here. What do you think about that? And should he have been suspended? Did you agree with? And there was some, I don't want to say a conspiracy, but there's a notion nationally that people thought that his suspension was by the NBA too. In fact, I don't know if you guys saw it, but right before we came on, I saw an article. The former rogue referee Tim Donaghy said that he knows for a fact that the NBA suspended Draymond because they wanted to extend the series. So, B, tell me what you think about the Draymond suspension.
Yeah, I think it was really just because I think with that situation, I think they was like, okay, well, Draymond kicked Sam Adams in the man area.
In the end scene.
Right. And then what was that other play where he pat his foot out and he kicked that? Who he kicked?
He almost kicked Russell.
Yeah, he almost kicked Russell.
And he almost kicked Kyrie.
And it was just like one of those moves where he didn't get suspended or any potential penalty for that. So I think this little situation, they felt like, oh, well, I think this is time we finally get him. My thing is, if you're going to get him right then and there. Don't wait for the game to be over and then you go back. Because from a man standpoint, if a dude step over me and his like nuts is touching my head, my natural reaction is gonna be like dude, get off me. Like, what are you doing? Get the heck off me. Like, stop. I'm pretty sure y'all feel the same way. It's like that's a natural man.
No question. That's
a natural man instinct. So if LeBron is stepping over my head, or any basketball player for that matter stepping over my head, yeah, I'm like, get off me. I'm trying to get up. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? Get off me. Like, get off me. Because if you notice, once LeBron, they started tussling, Draymond Green walked away. Like, because I'm pretty sure his teammates, and he knew himself, like, if I get in trouble, I'm going to be suspended. Draymond Green started walking away. He just started laughing. Like, he was walking away. He didn't want no parts of that because he knew if he would have, initiated some more or that caused to a small physical altercation, he would have got suspended. The ref, he would have got the flagrant, and then he knew he got suspended. But he walked away. He literally walked away and didn't even want no parts of it. So for the NBA to game is over, and we already decided, Golden State went up 3-1 is our. Then all of a sudden you come, I like that article came out of nowhere. I'm like, what? Draymond Green suspended for his game 5, and it was just crazy.
But you know what though?
I thought that whole situation was bogus. What's up?
But you know what though, B? So here's the thing: if he would have been kicked out the game, then he would have been out 2 games. So because it would have been a flagrant 2.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
That game was decided by that time, right, Wes?
Nah, it was still pretty. I think it was. It was pretty.
Hey, Wes, we talking about Cleveland, who was down by like.
Yeah, they were getting beat pretty bad.
They were done. They were mentally checked out, so the game was over. So, because remember, LeBron was getting into it with Steph Curry. The game was over at that point. So.
Right. Here's how I feel. It's like, okay, somebody steps over top of you. I'm pretty sure, most people are not going to feel that great about that. But the issue is like I love Draymond as a player, but I kind of got to wonder, like, why you going after everybody's nuts, like, every time that you get into, like, a scrum. So the issue really wasn't so much that Draymond retaliated. It was really more in the way that he retaliated and the fact that, in these playoffs specifically, like, he's had a whole lot of issues. And, like, I don't really let Draymond off the hook for this. Like, this is really, you don't have any of the flagrants and the text leading up to this point, then you don't have this problem. You know what I'm saying? So showing it, pretty much like a general lack of self-control led up to this particular point. So, a lot of dudes is talking about, what LeBron said, but if you don't do it, then don't really matter what LeBron said. You know what I'm saying? So, like, he tackled somebody, like, at the end of the season. It was just like, what are you doing?
Over Houston. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you have a track record of not really playing by the rules, and then you definitely have a track record in the last 3 rounds of going at dudes nether regions allegedly. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think this was on him, and I think that it was a just just penalty. You know what I'm saying? I definitely would have been a bit more overblown if it was a flagrant 2 in the middle of the game. You know what I'm saying? Because at first glance, I didn't even notice it. I just after the replay. So, yeah.
I I hated the
No
suspension.
doubt, no doubt. What about you, Ken?
Yeah, I hated the suspension. I thought it was weak by the NBA.
Yep.
And the reason why is that I think that it was a makeup. And I think that it was also a way for the NBA to say, in part, that what we did in the last time out was the right decision because it did end up affecting Draymond down the line. Because one of the things that they said, Kiki Vandeweghe said, was that if he gets another flagrant because of the way they handled it at that moment, he is going to be suspended. So I think it was almost as if they took this moment to escalate it up to a flagrant one to kind of make what they did in OKC come back around and make the ruling seem like it was the right thing to do. I totally think this was a makeup call by the NBA. He should have been suspended for the game in OKC. And I don't care if OKC went out and won the game. We're not talking about the results. We're talking about what he did. Draymond Green has been a wild animal for quite a while. In the
Wild animal, though.
He has been off the chain, and the NBA for a while has failed to regulate him. He flails, he cries every time something happens. He's constantly running up in the referee's face. And correct me if I'm wrong, I thought that's supposed to be a technical.
Yeah, but LeBron does that too, though, man. So
yeah, I know.
Not
But
the playoffs, though.
No. LeBron, I think the thing is, Draymond does it, like, the way Draymond does it is incredible, though.
You
like,
think it's more demonstrative?
But Draymond is, like, off the charts. And I think LeBron whines about fouls that he feels like he doesn't commit because he's LeBron. He whines about fouls that he doesn't get more than he whines about some of the fouls that he is called whenever that happens. He's rarely called sometimes.
Right. That's more what I was talking about. Like, I think he does. I think he's mad demonstrative when he doesn't get a call. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times he's almost as demonstrative as Draymond. But the difference is that Draymond's his is coming after the play stops, so you see it more. Whereas when LeBron feels like he gets fouled, which he does get fouled a lot. Let's keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? The camera's already panning, so he's like off. You're not watching him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he is pretty demonstrative. But I think it's just one of those things. I don't think either of those things needs to be policed anyway. I think it's corny the way it's policed. But I feel you, Ken.
Oh my
God.
Very corny. What about?
Because most of the time when they're complaining, they take themselves out of the play any damn way.
Yeah.
If refs are emotional creatures, then they'll be a little bit more reluctant to give you the call because you're whining and complaining about it. But I just think Draymond has just been off the chain for a while, and I think I'll go on record as to say I think he's a dirty player now. Throughout the playoffs more than throughout the regular season because I didn't watch all of the games. There's been plenty of incidents caught on camera where he's kicking him. He kicked Cantor. He kicked Cantor in the series, and they didn't upgrade that one. So there have been plenty of incidences where he's been caught on camera where the NFL has turned an eye on it. In Houston, he body slammed somebody. So I think now this at a point where I think Draymond has gotten to a point where the NBA will start paying more attention to the things that he's done, the things that he's doing on the court. But nevertheless, I thought it was I did not like the call at all because I did not think that what he did warranted a flagrant one to set afterwards. The man was really just getting up. LeBron just happened to be stepping over him, and he would just swing. He didn't, he kind of knew, but he was just, hey, man, what are you doing? And then, because I think when he saw him, he kind of tried to pull back a little bit because he saw where he was at, and then he swung at him again. But to find something out of the rule book and say retaliatory swing after whatever, do you know how DeMarcus Cousins almost swung on somebody? He has fouled up. So I think it's bogus, man. And while I agree that it affected the series, let's be real. I think the Cavs probably would have lost if Draymond would have played. I thought it was over. And Donahue may have a very valid
I don't
point.
believe nothing Donahue says, man.
I don't
Like
know,
if
man.
you cheat, like my whole thing is if you cheated on games, I just don't trust you as a person anyway. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I am. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I feel you, but I think he's also speaking from a place. I think the NBA has done a good job of making a lot of people just. I think that their way they went about. They had Olivia Pope, man, because nobody believes Don. I think where you're coming from is from kind of a moral standpoint. Was like, yo, bro, you're a cheater, so I'm not believing anything you say. But I think that there's something there, even if it's not as far as where he's taking it. Kyle put it right. There is a notion that this was done to prolong the series and get it to 6 games. And the Cavs won, and here we are. But at the end of the day, man, it was just whack. It was just whack. It was a whack call. And they were just making up for OKC. My thing has always been get it right the first time.
Yep.
Draymond, man, punish him for it, and let's be done with it. Don't do it now and on the biggest stage on something that I think wasn't really that bad considering what happened. That whole game was a mess. People were getting pushed down and out left and right on both ends. You know what I'm saying? The Reeds are culpable because they let that game turn into a slugfest for whatever reason. And again, look, Donahue even said in an article Kyle pointed out, they're kind of told to watch certain plays. But we're getting off on a tangent. I didn't like the call. I thought it was whack.
No doubt. FIFO, what about you, man? What's your take on the suspension?
I thought it was weak. But like I said, the NBA itself is weak. I think it's unfair to criticize the players as being weak. They just play in a weak league now. But it was weak. I don't think it affected the game as much as Ken's making it out to be because Cleveland already beat Golden State with Draymond Green on the floor, so it is possible. Doesn't mean it is impossible. And you had an all-time historic great performance by Kyrie, the only other player to do 40-plus points on 70+% shooting in the finals is Will Chamberlain. So I don't know if Draymond Green overcomes that. That's all I'm saying. Because it didn't matter who was in front of Kyrie last night. And I don't know, man. I don't like it. I don't like it. But when you watch the play, I don't think LeBron had any real intent. I think that's just a play that happens.
FIFO. Can I stop you for a second, bro?
What's good?
You probably play more basketball than any of us. If that situation ever happened to you on a basketball court, are you going to let a dude slide for putting his nuts on your head?
Hell no, I'm gonna react. No, but I'm not.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
I know. No. Look, I'm not saying that what happened wasn't supposed to happen. It happened exactly like it would happen, regardless of the two players happened to. That's what's supposed to happen. But my thing is upon further review, when they slowed it down and you see Draymond kind of take a swipe over there in no man's land, that's like, dang, bro, I gotta do something. Like Ken said, that's wild animal like. You can't do stuff like that. That is not part of the game. Like what LeBron did, right? Like it's just trying to get out the way. Maybe he didn't go about it the right way. You reacted. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? But trying to punch somebody, no, you don't, down there on your way up, you don't need to do that. You just need to get up tough, get in Buddy Grill, talk smack, wrestle and tussle down there up under the rim like you did, throw LeBron, talk some more smack, and be done with it. That's what's supposed to happen. But when you start swinging in areas that are not supposed to be swung at, that's when you have to look at it and be like, yo, bro, I got to kick you out. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to learn your lesson. You can't do those type of moves. And remember, I was the one that defended him against Steven Adams. I was like, that was just, people do that.
Yeah, you were the only one.
I was the only one. But in this instance, when I saw it, I didn't see that.
Yeah, because I think we all wanted Draymond out of there. Right. I think, and I'll be quick on this. I think there's fault on both sides. I think LeBron, there's no way that he should have come up and stood over them. I mean, you don't. That's just that's a more of a respect thing than it is a basketball thing. And Draymond did what I would have done. I'd have punched him too, and I wouldn't have cared where I punched him. That being said, as far as Draymond's suspension, and no, what he didn't warrant it, but you have to also look back at what it's a culmination of technicals that got Draymond to this point. So
that's exactly what it was.
For that, Draymond has himself to blame because he wouldn't be at 6 technicals or 7 technicals or whatever it is had he not gotten to this point. If this was his first technical, then LeBron gets punched in the nuts and we keep playing. That's it. He doesn't even get suspended. So I think that kind of got lost in the narrative. And I do fault LeBron as well because, LeBron, and he, like I said, he called LeBron a name, and LeBron actually stopped playing during live. I've never seen that happen before from LeBron. And you mentioned earlier about getting in his head. I mean, you can't, as a player, you can't do that. And and not to say that it's okay, but I'm pretty sure LeBron James has been called a lot worse in his life than what Draymond called him. Now, however you feel about that, that's one thing. But you, as the leader of that team, you can't lose your cool like that because, like you said, FIFO, at some point they're going to keep coming at you like that. So, I would, back in the day, you would send somebody, to antagonize a guy. So, back in the 80s or 90s, I would send a deli to go at Draymond Green just to get under his skin.
Yeah,
and you hope that deli gets knocked. Yeah, you hope that he does something stupid and gets kicked out of the game. So I think both players have to keep their cool. At this stage of the game, you can't have that. So I blame Draymond because he let his teammates down. And I also blame LeBron because LeBron should have handled that, and he should have never commented. He didn't speak to it directly in the post-game press conference, but he gave enough leeway where people would ask questions about it. He called you a name. So what? That's not the first time you've been called. And trust me, it won't be the last time. And if you've ever been to an NBA game, I've heard a lot worse NBA games. I'm talking about mother, father, everything. So, and I mean, I'm not even going to get into the whole Delonte West thing. So, my point is, in closing on that, man, cool heads. You got a lot at stake. You can't afford to because as we saw with the injury to Bogut, anything can happen. You don't, if you're Golden State, you want to get rid of this team. If you're Cleveland, you want to keep fighting. You don't want to put your team in a bad spot. And I think LeBron put himself in a bad spot, and I think Draymond put himself in a worse spot because he cost his team. And, to be honest, if Draymond had played, last night's game would have been different. I don't necessarily know that the Cavs would, that the Golden State would have won. None of us know. But I do think that the game would have been different. But, the way Kyrie was shooting, I don't know that Draymond would have made that much of a difference because he can't play LeBron and Kyrie. He might have cut down on some of LeBron's points, but hey, we'll never know. So there's no need to really play that game. And I'm seeing the comments here. I can't believe the vitriol you guys have for LeBron. It's crazy to me. We're gonna have we may have a why people hate LeBron show at another day. So that being, because literally we could do 2 hours on that. So here we go. We're at the turning point. Like I said, it's Game 5. Excuse me, I'm gonna keep saying Game 5. Game 6. So Ken, I'll throw it to you. If the Cavs win, who's your MVP? And if Golden State wins, who's your MVP?
Wait, so you're talking about the series altogether?
The series altogether.
Okay.
So let's assume that, and of course now this is hypothetically, so we don't know what who would score what in games. But up until this point, if you had to, I guess let me just phrase it like that. Up until this point, who's your MVP for Golden State? Who's your MVP for Cleveland? Let's do it like that.
Yeah, Golden State. That's yucky. Because it's been a little bit of everybody. Draymond had the big game, in game 2, and Curry put up an inflated 38 in game 4.
What does that mean?
Well, just he tacked on the extra points at the free throw line when the game was pretty much ultimately decided.
Come on, man. He had 38 points.
Yeah, he had 32. So yeah, that's what I mean by that. It's 38 on the books, but the game was decided when he had like 32. Nevertheless.
Oh my God! What's 6 free throws?
Because people, 38 looks different than 32. You know that.
Ken is being a Russian judge tonight, man.
To the casual person, man. To the casual spectator.
Ken is a Russian good judge tonight.
Klay, the one great game Klay had, they lost. I don't know.
No, Klay's had 2 good games. He had a great game last game too.
In game 4?
Yeah. Yeah, he had
So he's 1-1 in good games, but the first 2 he was non-existent pretty much. He had 10 in the set. Well, part of that because of blowout. I really don't know, man. I really honestly don't know, and I'm trying to talk my way through it. I think it's either Draymond or Iggy. Right now, Iggy stepped up and put up Draymond-like stats, but they lost. Draymond comes back and win and put up and have a good game tomorrow. I think it'll be him. Now I just got to give you guys something. It damn sure won't be Curry, and it damn sure better not be Curry unless he drops 60.
Right.
For the Cavs, I think FIFO said it best. Kyrie has to be the MVP for them to win, and I think if they win this series, it's because Kyrie was just outstanding. Kyrie put up 40 in games 6 and 7, which he can do easy. And I think LeBron has to be Robin to Kyrie's Batman right now because Kyrie is simply unguardable by anyone on the court. And if LeBron can be the Swiss Army knife that he is and just rebound, assist, blocks, and do everything else and manage to facilitate and get other people involved and let Kyrie do what he does, I think Kyrie will be the MVP because he's statistically his scoring numbers. He's probably going to close the fourth quarter. I think all that would factor in, and what he did last night in Game 5, coupled with what he would potentially possibly do in 6 and 7, would lend him the MVP.
Okay. FIFA, what about you, man? Your MVPs for up until this point.
I think for Golden State, it's between Klay and Draymond for me. Because they really wouldn't be in this position without either one of them. It's really hard for me to decipher which is more valuable. But I put it to you like this: with Draymond missing this last game, if he comes back and they win and he has a great game, I think he makes that makes his case right there. Y'all couldn't win without me. I come back. I have a good game. We win. So I think that if they win in the next game, it's definitely Draymond. If they go 7, it might be Klay. For the Cavs, I've been saying it, man. I've been saying it from the beginning. Ken said exactly how I feel about the situation over there. It got to be Kyrie. It has to be Kyrie. Kyrie has to be the Finals MVP for them boys to win, man. And exactly everything Ken said. If LeBron could just be regular LeBron, we don't even need you to be spectacular LeBron. Be regular LeBron, get the other guys involved, you chip in here and there, you get the rebounds, you push, you do those type of things, and let Kyrie be the Kyrie he can be. I'm telling you, man, it's going 7. I got him in 7, man.
Okay. What about you, B? MVPs to this point.
Really, for this Thursday game, if Draymond Green comes back and ball and ball out and they win, I say Draymond for Golden State. It looks like Kyrie is on the one track mind right now, and I think he's gonna at a high level. And if Cavs can come back and be the first team ever to come back down in the NBA Finals 3-1, then I think the MVP would be Kyrie Irving.
Okay. What about you, Wes?
Yeah, definitely Kyrie on the Cavs end. Dubs, really, really, really up for debate. I think the Warriors might be one of the first teams that I've seen that have two glue guys, and that's Draymond and Iggy. I don't think I've ever seen that. It's like Draymond's the main glue and Iggy's the backup glue. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna go with FIFO and say it's probably going to be up between Klay and Draymond, in my opinion.
Okay.
Now,
I've got the same.
It could also be too, though, if they now I'm actually going to go ahead and say if they actually go 7 games, it actually could be Steph too. You know what I'm saying? So if Steph balls out this next game and they lose, and then he balls out again in Game 7 and they win, I mean he could win. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of that even, if that makes sense. Like each 3 of those guys have had one really great game. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's Kyrie for the Cavs. I think I would probably give it to Klay at this point. I think Steph would have to be incredible for them, or maybe hit the game-winning shot in Game 6 for him to win it. But I'm looking forward to it, man. I think we're in store. And you know what? The one thing, up until the point where the game kind of got away, the back and forth I like, because I think that that's what we wanted to see. We wanted to see a close game. We don't want to see 30-point blowouts. I mean, it's not even fun. Last question on the finals, and then we'll go to another basketball story. Strategy-wise, now personally, you guys said this 1,000 times. I've said it 1,001. I hate the hack-a-person strategy. Wes, what did you think about? Because it looked to me like they slowed the game down. Golden State slowed the game down when they went to hacking Tristan Thompson, and I think it backfired because it gave LeBron and Kyrie a chance to rest. What did you think about that? And are you a fan or a proponent of that, the hacker guy?
I don't really have a big problem with the hacker thing. I think it's a strategy move. I know a lot of people don't like it because it slows the game down. Nobody wants to see people shooting free throws, but it's like, I mean, you gotta make your free throws, fam. That's part of the game. You know what I'm saying? Right. So. I don't necessarily think it backfired per se. I think it just really showed that the Warriors just weren't making shots. You know what I'm saying? So normally, you get a guy and he either goes 1-on-1 or he misses both shots. You come down, you hit a couple threes and and hit a 2. Now you turn the game around. They were getting, if you want to go back during that time, they were actually getting really open shots. They just weren't making.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily think that it was like a backfire thing or anything like that. I just think it was just one of those things where they just didn't luck out and just missed shots. So.
What about you, B?
By the way, Fief, you look mad irritated, bruh.
Say it again, Kyle.
The strategy of hacker guy. We saw Kerr go to it last night, and it slowed the game down, and it actually looked like it backfired. What's your thoughts on that? And do you think that either team should employ it as they come down the stretch in Game 6 and possibly Game 7?
No, I think they need. I think Adam Silver need to really take a look at this hacker thing or whatever, man. Yeah, this is like. It's really, fourth quarter clutch minutes. Okay, I get it. But first quarter, second quarter, third, it's like, man, something they need to really take a look at this, man, because it's getting out. I even attended basketball games where that happened, like where I'm like, really, like they really fouling, and it's 6:34 left in the first quarter, like really, Like they can't even run up and down the court. So yeah, I don't like the hacker thing at all. Like I said, I get it if you got DeAndre Jordan in the game and it's 2:30 left to go in the game and you don't want the team to get go to their go-to guy or anything like that, make them earn it from the line. Yeah, I get that point. Then that's where coaching and strategy comes. Like, okay, do I still play him because he gives us these rebounds and he protects the basket, or do I take him out because he's gonna break free throws? That's different. Before the fourth quarter, man, I think it's ridiculous to me, in my opinion. So I don't like this hacker thing, this hackathon and hacker whoever. I don't like it at all. I hate it.
Wait,
No doubt. What about you, Ken?
What you about to say?
Wait a second, B.
What's up?
I thought you were kind of with West. You just got to make your free throws.
I think you know what it was for me, Ken. I think when I purchased a ticket to a game, in there through it like I went to a live game. I think it's different when you watch it on TV. Yeah, I can't front. Watch on TV, I'm like, you breaking your free throws.
Yeah.
But when you spend your hard-earned money and you go into these games and you have nice seats, I don't want to see nobody shooting free throws in the first quarter. I changed my opinion from experiencing it live, Ken. that was before I experienced it live, Ken. You spend some money on some good tickets. You don't want to see nobody shooting free throws in the first quarter like that, man.
In the first quarter, yeah.
You don't want to see that.
I didn't want to, because you got you literally have the whole game to come back.
I mean, like really. So yeah, when I experienced it live, Ken, I kind of changed my stance a little bit.
What about you, FIFO?
You know how I feel about the rule. I'm a coach, man, so I need everything at my disposal to try to keep a game from getting away.
Exactly.
I feel from the fans' perspective. Trust me, because I've had some disappointments on some big tickets where I go and it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But at the end of the day, for the integrity of the game, I think that you can tweak the rule, but but we can't get rid of it altogether. Like we just can't.
No, I mean fourth quarter is fine. Fourth quarter, hey.
But you know what? But here's the thing though, right? Like, what if you're playing against a team, they just get hot, but you know they're not better than you. They're just hot, but they have this guy that's getting all the rebounds, protecting the paint. Foul the crap out of them and close the gap. To me, that's still a strategy, man. Maybe not the first quarter, but what if it's in the second quarter, they got a 20-point lead. I do this, I can cut it down to 12. Like, what if I could cut it down to 12 and I only took like a minute and a half off of the clock? Like, that is great coaching. That's great coaching. You cannot take that asset away. You just can't do that. I think you could tweak it. I don't know what the tweak is. They don't pay me no money to come up with it. They pay me enough money, I might have something that might work.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, they got to figure something out, though. But I feel you, B. I'm kind of with you. But you just cannot take that completely away from a coach.
I agree.
Ken, what about you, man?
You guys know how I feel about it, man. I think they need to change it. I think it's unfortunate too but I understand it as a strategy. What Wes is saying, I totally get it. Even what FIFO is saying. It's a strategy in the game, and you got to do what you got to do to win a game. And now we're seeing a mass adoption by a lot of NBA coaches as a strategy to win games. Once I saw Pop do it, I knew it was a wrap. I knew it was a wrap.
Yeah.
So
once Pop did it, it really kind of killed the game.
Yeah, but and I think that last night, I think it was a good move by Kerr. They were not hitting shots, and we know the Warriors tend to be streaky. Like when they're hot, they're insanely hot, and when they cold, they continue to shoot until they get hot again. That's kind of what they are.
Right.
And typically, more times than not, they're hot and they're making shots because they can shoot. So I think that's what Kerr was trying to do, was just trying to buy time until they found their shot again, which is what Wes was alluding to earlier. So, but I think they just never found their shot. And he was really just trying to keep the game from getting away from him. I think he got up to 8, 9, 10, and he was just trying to stay in the game by any means necessary. And, unfortunately, it didn't work out for him.
Yeah,
But
I think it was two things. I agree with Ken. I think it was because they're like one of the few teams that can get 10 points in 45 seconds. That's one thing. And then also two, I think it was in a roundabout way, a way of almost like icing the kicker in football, where Kyrie was just making so many shots. It's like let's not let this dude touch the ball for like 4 possessions and see if we can kind of slow him down just a bit. But Kyrie was making everything, bro. Like it wasn't you just weren't going to beat him last night. Because I mean,
That's a good point.
I mean there was like
That's a good point.
there was a solid like 8 or 9 shots that he made where, I mean, he was defended as best as you can, and there was just
Right.
it just went in. It's just like, I mean, what can you do? You can't even get upset about that. That's just, you got to
Yeah,
tip
tip
your
your
hat
hat.
off the dude being great. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. That's a great point. One other basketball story. There's been talk that the Minnesota Timberwolves, who hold the 5th pick, are in discussion with possibly trading shooting guard Jimmy Butler for the 5th pick. Rumors are that the Bulls are interested but not interested. They may be looking to blow up that team. B, man, what do you think about a possible trade? Do you think that Jimmy Butler should be shipped at all, or what do you think about this possibility happening with the Timberwolves? They do have the 5th pick. They've already got a young nucleus. They've got Tom Thibodeau. They've got Cat, and they've also got Andrew Wiggins and of course Kevin Garnett, who's still playing basketball as far as I know. So what do you think about this possible trade?
I think if they make this trade, Minnesota is looking who's ever running that Minnesota front office, they really seriously trying to make some moves and build this roster around him because he plays a different position. You got to look at his starting lineup. If Jimmy Butler is there, you got Zach LaVine, Jimmy Butler.
Nah, Zach LaVine would get traded though.
Oh, he'd be a part of the trade?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, okay. I just when they say Jimmy Butler for a 5th round pick, I'm like, wow, you got Zach LaVine, Jimmy Butler, Andrew Wiggins, whoever you want to plug in power forward, and then Anthony Towns at center. That's a good you building towards the right direction right there. Not only Jimmy Butler is a scoring, he can score, but he also is dedicated on the defensive side as well. So if that happens, man, I don't know what's going on with him in the Bulls organization for him to even be, put up there on a trading block like that. Either he's not getting along with Derrick Rose or the front office or the coaches. I think the coaches, because I think the players didn't really respond to the new coach right away. So I don't know. I think it could be a little bit of both. But yeah, I mean, I think Minnesota they trying to make some moves, man. They trying to get Minnesota back up to the winners they was when they had KG in his prime. So it'd be interesting, man. I hope that's one thing I am hoping for this upcoming draft. Is in like 9 days. I hope that we do get some shake. I hope we do get some trades, man. Shake some stuff up a little bit, man. I don't remember it being a lot of transactions last year before
Not really.
the draft. So this year, kind of shake some things up. Because usually with the draft and off season, when you shake things up, it kind of makes you anticipate the upcoming season. So it's like, oh man, this team made this trade. He's going here, he's going there. Like, I can't wait for the NBA season. Nah, it's like whenever we get a lot and this with NFL as well. Whenever we get a lot of movers and shakers going on in the off season, it makes us fans look forward to the upcoming season, man. So.
Well, I'm gonna be hyped regardless, bro. Because
I mean, yeah, true.
We got the first pick this year. Y'all know I'm a Sixers fan, bro.
Yeah,
so.
of course. We're all gonna be hyped.
Condolences to you.
We're all hyped because we fans of sports. But I'm just saying, usually when this stuff is shaking up, we're gonna be like, oh man, like it really has you looking forward to the season. So, I think it would be interesting if Jimmy Butler go there. Yeah, it would be interesting. You really got some guys you can build around that squad, man. With Wiggins, Butler, and Anthony Towns, man. That's a mean nucleus, man. That's nice.
In my opinion, though, I don't know, but they're still like 3 steps away.
Oh yeah, I mean, but they're going in the right direction, though. I mean, I just think with that pickup, they going somewhere in the right direction.
But I don't think, in my opinion, I don't really think it's fair to Andrew Wiggins to make that trade. Just being honest with you, like.
Oh, you tripping?
They both play different positions.
Tripping. No, that's exactly what Andrew Wiggins needs.
Yeah.
He needs a mentor at that position to learn from. Of course, they got KG and they had the other veterans. They had Tayshaun Prince and them. But this is a transition. You know what I'm saying? You have to have veterans. You got to have young players, but you also have to have, like, young veterans. That's what Jimmy Butler is. He came from the bottom. He wasn't drafted high. He worked his ass off, got to where he is, and that's what Wiggins needs. Wiggins needs some of this toughness because he's never averaged more than 5 rebounds a game. He needs to get that up. He hasn't averaged more than a steal and a half a game. He needs to get that up. He needs to see what works for Jimmy, and obviously Thibodeau is gonna increase that because if you want to get playing time, you're going to play that defense, and he's gonna want somebody to lean on when it gets tough because playing for Thibodeau is not gonna be easy. You know what I'm saying? So I think that this is actually a good move for Wiggins. And he wouldn't be the only Bulls player to come over. They're also talking about Joakim Noah, which to me, I think Karl Anthony Towns can play the 5, but I think he's dominant at the 4. You bring in somebody like Joakim to play the 5, I think you could get rid of Levine in that scenario because you still have a Rubio. You know what I'm saying? That is still pass first. Now he has multiple weapons and another guy. And Joakim that can move the rock and make passes just like him. So I like where they're going. Now I think they got to get rid of some of their older vets and get some of those younger vets like the Jimmy Butlers of the world, and obviously to a lesser degree as well because you're not going to get every Jimmy Butler, but you're going to get other guys that can contribute, and these younger guys can now not necessarily grow, but start taking the next steps in their own development.
So, Figo, you think? Right now. So you think? Where do you like Wiggins better at 3?
Oh yeah, I see. Here's the thing. I think that the NBA is really going to positionless basketball. As long as you can guard multiple positions, you will find yourself in this league. I think that he's a 2 or a 3. You know what I'm saying? He can guard the 1, 2, 3, and some of the small ball 4s as he continues to mature physically.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you pair him with a Jimmy Butler, that's tough. That's tough on that perimeter.
Well, actually, I actually agree with you as far as like, my thing was from a talent standpoint, that's all. It almost seems like I want to give Andrew Wiggins a shot to be the man, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And that's more where I was coming from.
But you know, here's the thing. Like I was talking about this with my coworkers at the job about Golden State and Harrison Barnes. If you're gonna be the man, you're gonna be the man regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because Draymond Green wasn't drafted to be the man, and now he's the 3rd best player on that squad. Talent will rise. You see what I'm saying? Like so if Wiggins is gonna be that guy, then he'll be that guy regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because it should be undeniable. Does not matter who's on your squad. You should be that guy if that's who you're going to be. Now, to me, I think the guy is Karl Anthony Towns. I think Wiggins is secondary or 3rd, you know what I'm saying, in a championship order. I think Karl Anthony Towns is the guy that you can build around. I think Wiggins is an addition to that. And I think you need another guy, which obviously would be a Jimmy Butler.
I feel you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
First of all, let me just say, shout out to my man FIFO, like being one of like the first dudes that I've been able to talk to about basketball in like a month that I'm not ready to swing on because they sounded stupid. You know what I'm saying? I mean that's all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, I think we share a bit of a lineage as far as playing at every level. You know what I'm saying? And then kind of carrying that acumen as you get old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, got to, man.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I had a dude online. You probably missed this, and I know I'm going off on a tangent. I made a comment the other day online, and I had one of my followers basically hit me with the old, "You don't know what you're talking about. Stick to music." And it was just like, and I was like, so fam, like you follow me on here because you only know me from a music standpoint. But bruh, like my basketball life is like way longer time and more. I had way more experience with basketball than music. Like music is so short in my life, it's not even funny. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So it's nice to he got mad at me because I said that LeBron was a surefire Hall of Famer. And he didn't agree. So
How do you just? Never mind.
So he didn't think. Okay, yeah, I'm
well,
with you.
we don't
you
even
have to walk away from those kind of conversations.
Yeah.
Nah. I hate dudes on Twitter, man. I swear.
He's good peoples too. Like he's like, you know what I'm saying? We have good conversations. That was the first time that we had one of them type of conversations. I was like really taken back by that. You know, but I mean, you know, everybody got their opinions. You know. What can you do?
Wow. Damn. That's crazy.
Well, fellas, I'm actually gonna have to bow out, man. I got some stuff that I gotta do for prep for a joint that's dropping tomorrow. So
Hey man, hey, I just checked out the site looks fantastic, man.
thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And I just dropped the link in there, and we appreciate you spending time with us, man. Great insight, man. It's always good to have that. You know, it's rare. Likewise, you know.
Definitely. I actually might be down there this summer in Atlanta, doing one of the pieces for the off season.
Okay.
So if I come through, I will definitely let you guys know. We definitely got to get up.
Okay.
Because I need to sit face to face from FIFA and have one of these conversations because I could tell that's going to be a good one. Even though we on the same, I mean we basically on the same page, but
he likes to argue.
I'm not used to that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Well, they appreciate you, man. We definitely have to get you on again, man. We do this every Tuesdays, man. So
yeah, every Tuesday. Before we get out of here, man, I gotta hit y'all with we do this every week, and I gotta shout out the homie Eclectic for these. He runs the One Gotta Go. One Gotta Go, man. So we found this online. We retweeted this on our Dead End Sports page. One gotta go. This means that you have to pick one player, and this player has to be eliminated from the field. All right, y'all ready? I'm gonna give y'all 4 players: Klay Thompson, LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Steph Curry. Who's gotta go?
Klay Thompson.
Klay, LeBron, Kyrie, and Steph.
Klay.
B, who's gotta go?
Klay gotta go.
FIFO?
I'm saying Steph because I know where this question is coming from.
Ken, who gotta go?
Where is it coming from then, FIFO?
It's coming from the Finals MVP perspective.
Oh. Well, yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, Steph.
Or at least that's how I interpret.
Right. I thought he just mean just regular, just the play.
No. This is just in general. This is not based on what
Klay.
you've seen.
Yeah, then Klay. Yeah.
So FIFO, you want to change that, or you still getting rid of Steph?
Well, I'm answering how I interpret it.
Okay. But I'm just saying that's not how we're posing it.
Klay. I'm going Klay.
Yeah, I say Klay gotta. No, Kyrie gotta go. Kyrie gotta go.
You tripping?
Ken, who gotta go?
Wow.
You say Kyrie?
No. Man, you guys don't even have to ask me.
LeBron.
I already know who out. Klay out of there, man. I'm not gonna be a prisoner of the moment. I thought about it. I was like, man, Klay kind of, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna be a prisoner of the moment.
Right.
Klay.
No doubt. Well, yeah, that's. You know what? Let me give you one more before we get out of here. Football, real quick. Running backs. You gotta put your thinking cap on for this one. B, I'll start first with you. Running back. Which running back has to go? Clinton Portis, Tiki Barber, Priest, or I'll say them again. Clinton Portis, Tiki Barber, Priest Holmes, or Edgerrin James. One got to go. Which one goes? Portis, for me, it's Portis. It's not.
Oh, you tripping?
I'm getting rid of Portis.
I'm
getting over
Tiki Barber.
Priest? No, sir.
Tiki Barber.
Tiki was a monster.
Man, Tiki had fumbling problems.
Not at the end, he didn't.
So?
Yeah, Tiki's out for me too.
All them other guys was dope from day one.
Yeah, I mean, Portis was dope, but
I guess Tiki Barber. Yeah, Tiki Barber. He did have a fumbling problem because I remember he had to like change the way he carried the ball and all that stuff. Yeah, he had to do a lot. He had to make a lot
in the chat room saying Edgerrin James. Are y'all
crazy
or something?
I'll say Tiki Barber.
Edgerrin James, man. Peyton Manning wouldn't be who he was without Edgerrin James.
Edgerrin James is a borderline Hall of Famer for real. He might get in.
Yeah, I say Tiki Barber.
No doubt. Well, yeah, that's gonna do it for this week. You know what? We can actually end on some closing shots if you guys got any parting shots.
Only thing I got, Steph, tighten the ankle joints because I know you got some ankle wraps or something. Tighten them up because Kyrie coming for you, bro. I'm just saying, I don't want to see you do time break and pop the ankle, bro. I need you to be protected.
I don't think I have a parting shot. Yeah, I thought about it. I don't. Yeah, I'm just. I hope we get 7 games, man. I hope we get 7 games.
Cavs in 7. You heard it here.
Oh Lord. B, any parting shots?
No, just looking forward to seeing my Tigers this upcoming Monday, with my dad. It's been a minute since I've been to a Tigers. Went to Comerica Park or whatever since they built it in 2000. So it's been a minute. So I'm glad I'm gonna be going back there and enjoying a good old baseball game with my pops. So hopefully a baseball fly my way, man. I'll be ready to catch it.
Hey, now don't go falling over the steps and stuff trying to catch a baseball, man.
No.
My parting shot, man, is definitely a salute and a big thank you to Muhammad Ali. As many of you know, Muhammad Ali passed away, and his funeral was this past Friday. I did not get a chance to. I wasn't on last week's show. Muhammad Ali meant a lot to me. I told someone before, like growing up, I never had like a lot of sports heroes. Muhammad Ali is my first sports hero. This was back when boxing came ABC, so you could see heavyweight fights on Saturdays, for free. And Ali and his interviews with Howard Cosell were legendary. And Ali was when he said he was the greatest, he didn't necessarily mean in boxing. He was just the greatest of all time. And if you saw any of the showing of outpouring of love that he got on Friday, when he was so eloquently eulogized in the funeral procession, the whole nine, we won't see anything like that again from another athlete. Muhammad Ali was definitely ahead of his time. He was a man of the people, and he spoke for the people. He was a champion, but he did more so outside the ring than he ever did inside the ring. And for that, Muhammad Ali, I say thank you, and we definitely appreciate and will forever know you as the greatest and forever be in our hearts. That's going to do it for this week. For Ken, for B, for FIFO, I'm your host, 12 Kyle. It's another edition of Dead End Sports. Thanks for tuning in. We'll holler at you next week. Peace.
Peace.